In recent days, Huawei and the ICPC Foundation jointly held the first ICPC and Huawei Challenge Championship. A total of 58 participants from 25 countries competed in this championship. On September 19, the official website of the International Collegiate Programming Contest, ICPC, revealed a conversation summary between Huawei's founder and CEO, Ren Zhengfei, and representatives from the ICPC Foundation, coaches, and gold medal-winning students. Today, we'll take a closer look at the interesting on-site Q&A session, where Ren Zhengfei was asked various questions and how he responded. Among the questions, one contestant even asked Mr. Ren, "I heard you're also an Apple fan, is that true?" As expected, Ren Zhengfei candidly answered this question. Let's delve into the details. Russian ICPC coach, I've been an ICPC championship team coach for 10 years. Many companies support talent development, but perhaps due to the indirect relationship with their business, they may not be inclined to support large-scale competitions like ICPC. However, I found that Huawei's support goes beyond talent recruitment, it's more about helping the local community develop talent. I would like to ask, why does Huawei believe that supporting competitions is so important for business development, or is it a necessary thing to do? Ren Zhengfei, Russia is a great country. Yekaterina introduced Western painting, music, and philosophy. In the same era, the Qing dynasty in China took a closed-door policy, so Russia industrialized before China. Based on this, basic theoretical research received attention from the former Soviet Union and achieved great success, for instance, with figures like Zhukovsky, Mendeleev, Lobachevsky, and Popov. Recently, in the 1960s, there was a scientist in the former Soviet Union, Pyotr Ufimtsev, who first discovered the radio reflection function of diamond facets. However, the Soviet Union spent a long time researching it and thought it was useless. Why? Because they deemed it meaningless, so they approved the publication of the mathematician's paper. But when Americans saw it, they regarded it as a treasure and spent 20 years developing the F-22 stealth fighter. Although Huawei is a commercial company, it is not solely profit-driven. For example, our support for competitions is sincere and genuine, not for talent acquisition. Just now, during Coffee with Chairman Bill, we discussed our hope to bring competitions in information technology, mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, and neural networks to China through you. Whether it's related to us or not, we can provide support. As Chairman Bill mentioned, science and technology should be used to create more social wealth, eradicate poverty, and achieve common prosperity. Sun Tek, Associate Professor at the National University of Singapore, IOI member, Chairman of Singapore Information Olympiad, former ICPC team coach. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to Huawei for the strong support in training our students and participating in competitions. Secondly, I'd like to introduce two other competition organizations. One is IOI, International Olympiad in Informatics, a downstream partner of ICPC, mainly focusing on discovering and nurturing talent. IOI has encountered some challenges, despite over 90 countries being part of it. Many countries like Cambodia, Laos, Brunei, Myanmar, and others have not joined. These countries need our support, and we hope Huawei can assist in IOI's development. The other organization is EGOI, European Girls Olympiad in Informatics, specifically for girls, which is a very positive trend. Out of the 58 participants today, there is only one girl, accounting for less than 2%. Regarding achieving gender balance in competitions, we hope Huawei can provide support. Ren Zhengfei, when Singapore was founded, Lee Kuan Yew established two crucial policies. Firstly, he defined the national language as English, connecting to a very large world. Secondly, the language was Chinese, to be precise, Mandarin, and simplified characters, thus connecting two major worlds. In today's computer competitions, we need a unified computer language, a standard for the era of significant computing power. Through our coffee discussions, through our exchanges, we aim to eliminate barriers and estrangements between us. This time, we have connected the 25 participating countries. A small spark can ignite a prairie fire, igniting the enthusiasm in your country. Coaches and young people are welcome to come to China at any time. You have already obtained the contact information of many of our colleagues and friends, so you can maintain communication and contact. You young people today are our permanent partners. In addition to ICPC, we also want to support IOI, as well as competitions in subjects such as mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, and neural networks, to promote talent development in basic sciences. Metzer, Professor of Computer Science at the Universidad Técnica Federico Santa Maria in Chile, ICPC Regional Director for Latin America. I feel very proud, because a Latin American contestant won the championship in this competition, and of course, we have many outstanding students. Perhaps due to certain restrictions in the Americas, there aren't many job opportunities with Huawei. Does Huawei welcome talent from Latin America for internships? Would there be some systematic support if they come to China? Ren Zhengfei, whether it's from Latin America or any other country, we welcome outstanding talent to come to Huawei. We have an online platform called Yellow Year Tea House, where students can connect with relevant experts. If the expert believes you should come to China for a face-to-face internship, it's possible. As a simple example, who invented the 5G that the US has imposed sanctions on? Who invented polar codes within it? It was Professor Arakan from Turkey. He published a mathematical paper over a decade ago, and 2 weeks after its publication, we discovered this paper. We organized thousands of scientists and experts to study, analyze, and engineer it, leading to the world-leading 5G we have today. French participant, there's a type of scientific research known as useless research. Labeling it as useless is a short-term perspective, we don't yet know where it might apply. This kind of research is often conducted by universities rather than companies. However, in the long term, this type of research is very important. What is Huawei's perspective on such seemingly useless research? Will Huawei invest in this kind of research? Ren Zhengfei, what is science? The unknown is called science. Everyone now knows that the degree of freedom in scientific research is relatively high in the United States. Before World War II, basic research in the United States was weak, relying mostly on European theories to support its industry, aviation, and aerospace. Similarly, today, China relies on the West, and a lot of theorems, laws, formulas, and inventions come from Europe. After World War II, the US found itself lagging behind Europe in basic science because it had relatively few theoretical foundations. Vannevar Bush, an American scientist, wrote a book called Science, The Endless Frontier, after World War II, proposing that the US should research things that seem useless and distant. In essence, the US conducted research on many useless sciences, and after World War II, basic science flourished in the United States. In the 1990s, a professor at Princeton University named Stokes wrote a book, Pasteur's Quadrant, Basic Science and Technological Innovation, about how to aggregate useless science by applying it to scientific exploration, making it useful. Brazilian participant, due to the US sanctions in recent years, Huawei has faced many difficulties. I'd like to know how Huawei is dealing with this and if it's prepared to sustainably develop in the international market. Is there a plan to restore relations with the US, or do you believe Huawei can continue to develop without restoring relations with the US? Ren Zhengfei, the US sanctions are indeed pressure for us, but pressure is also a driving force. Before the crackdown, we built our basic platform in the US. After the US crackdown, we were forced to switch the platform to another, which was challenging. After 4 years of hard work by our 200,000 employees, we have basically established our own platform. In the future, our platform may not necessarily run on the same basis as that of the US, but interconnection is certain. ICPC Mexico and Central America Director. Some tech companies like Oracle and Cisco have set up research centers in Mexico. I would like to ask if Huawei has plans to establish research facilities in Mexico or Latin America in the future. Ren Zhengfei, regarding the layout of overseas research and development, we need to consult the director of our 2012 laboratory, and we'll take your suggestions back. Mexico has a splendid civilization, and even modern people haven't fully understood the Mayan culture. The origins of Mexican civilization are very ancient, and we believe that this kind of civilization exists in countries worldwide. We may consider it, but it will still depend on the specific deployment of the 2012 laboratory. Initially, our deployment was centered around the US, distributed worldwide. Later, when the US attacked us, we shifted our center to Europe, gradually focusing on Europe and Asia. Latin America was then less emphasized. Latin America is still under US control, and we need to further evaluate the state of control. Russian participant: Huawei has so many employees, how does the company achieve efficient operations through its management? Ren Zhengfei: In the early days of establishing the company, I visited the United States and focused on understanding their management, mainly IBM. First, IBM's enterprise goal management is about serving customers. Everything should revolve around the customer. This way, the company has a holistic sense of direction, which unites the employees. Second, learning from IBM's implementation of IPD, which is about incorporating the market and service representatives in research and development. IPD is a forward-looking leadership organization guiding R&D. Next, we learn from IBM about IFS and ISC finance and supply chain management. This made the process system clear. The most important aspect is the issue of allocation. We studied where the wealth of Huawei is and how to distribute it. We believe wealth is in the minds of the employees. We weigh the minds and allocate according to the weight. Our distribution method divides labor into 3 and capital into 1. Iceland participant: I'm not sure if it's true, but I heard you are a fan of Apple products. Ren Zhengfei: Because my daughter is studying in the United States, it's inconvenient for her to attend classes without using Apple products. We don't want to be exclusive. We often explore why Apple's products are well made and also see the gaps between us and Apple. A good teacher is very fortunate to have learning and comparative opportunities. If we look at it from these perspectives, calling me an Apple fan is not an exaggeration. That's all for today's sharing. See you in the next time.